If you're anything like me, you've forgotten your fair share of things that needed action on a specific date or time. Really what I'm talking about here is these little tiny life to-dos that you need to remember, that you want to remember, and your brain just forgets them. I'm talking about the subscription that you didn't want to automatically renew, but it just renewed. The package that you needed to return to Amazon, but you're 2 days late. A loved one's birthday, toilet paper that you needed to buy, but you forgot. So it's really like these little things that you just need to do on a day-to-day basis. Nowadays, I'm a pretty organized person. I have my things generally in order. That being said, in my 20s, I was an absolute mess. When I started living on my own, I would always be late with paying the bills, terrible at remembering exams or papers that I needed to hand in, loved ones' birthdays, you name it. I tried to keep a to-do list in paper or in apps or in calendars, and it just didn't work for me. I had to go back into those to-do lists, and either the list was way too long, I would get overwhelmed, and I just found myself never going back, and that just broke the system. One day though, I started playing around with Siri and something just clicked. Instead of me having to open an app, type what I need to remember, and then go back into the app and check it off, I could just hold the side button, activate Siri, and speak it out. And so if I added also a due date and a time to my reminder, then I would get the notification exactly when I would need it, and that was basically the secret sauce to making the system work. In the rest of this video, I'll guide you through creating the habit of using Siri reminders on a day-to-day basis so you can start taking advantage of this system that has significantly improved my life. To start off with, I'll just give you a quick intro about how I have my reminders app set up. So as you can see on my home screen here, I actually have the reminders widget here. This is to keep it top of mind for myself, and also to kind of have my top to-dos in this little widget. If I open up the Reminders app, you'll see that I have two types of lists. So Siri Reminders is basically just for reminders that have a date and a time. For the rest that don't have a date and a time, I have lists. So obviously, shopping list where I have my list of groceries, as you can see. These all don't have a date and a time, because when I'm in the grocery store, I'll open this up and then I'll just check things off. Same goes for watch list, which is basically shows that have been recommended. Same goes for read list, books that I'm going to read. The most important part of this whole system is creating the habit of using Siri reminders when the time is right. So whenever you hear remind me of, or you read something, or whenever something comes up that you need to remember, you need to think, I need to plug this into Siri. My favorite technique for building new habits is to make it obvious. Let me give you an example. Imagine I want to create a new habit, which is reading more books on a yearly basis. What I want to do here is basically trip over books, right? I'm going to put a book on my pillow, on my bed. Maybe I'll put a book or my Kindle on the couch, so I just see it and that just triggers me to start reading. It's as simple as that. So in our case, if we want to build this Siri habit, we want to make it very obvious and keep reminders front and center for ourselves. My first tip in making it obvious is start putting reminders in the app already through Siri that will start popping up over the next few days. So it starts becoming top of mind. My next tip in making it obvious is to customize your home screen with a big old reminders widget. So as you can see on my screen, I already have a smaller reminders widget, but let's just imagine that we're creating a new home screen. Tap the plus there, and all the way at the bottom, you will find reminders. So I recommend you just go with the big widget here, add it to your home screen, and that should put it front and center. And every time you open your phone, you see this widget. You can take it one step further, adding another widget, as I will do now. So scrolling all the way back to the bottom, getting reminders and choosing this smaller version, adding the widget, dragging it up or down, whatever you want, and then just choosing a special list that I just created, which is habits list, which is use Siri reminders, etc. This might look a bit crazy, but trust me, these type of things really work. So now in the final part of the video, I want to tell you a little bit about Siri and how you can use it. All of this stuff is readily available online or in other videos, so I'm not going to go deep in it, but let me give you my basics. You can trigger Siri in two ways. You can use the Hey Siri, or you can press the side button. For older phones, it will be the home button. Long press it and then it activates Siri. Personally, I don't like using Hey Siri. I find it way more efficient and smooth to just long press the side button over here. And what I also do is when I have my Apple Watch on, I use the digital crown also just hold it in, and that will also activate Siri. And for my usage, it really just comes down to one thing. If I want to add something to a list, I'll say add something to some list. For example, add spinach to the shopping list. If I do want to be notified in the future and have that little pop-up come up, I use remind me. So remind me of something at some specific date or time. You can get really creative with these reminders. You can say tomorrow, tomorrow afternoon, 2 days before the 3rd of October. So my advice would be to just play around with it. Most commands it will understand. That was all for this video. I hope you got some value from it. I hope you start remembering more stuff or forgetting less stuff. And I will see you in the next one.